Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. And today's date is 6th of August 2025. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the following topics, and the topics taken for discussion are isotope tagging for rhinoceros conservation in the South African region, and the global plastic treaty and its recent updates, and the battery waste management and the extended producer responsibility associated with it, and the fourth topic is the Sairang railway connectivity, which was recently inducted in the Indian area of Mizoram. And the fifth and final topic is the Jammu and Kashmir and the abrogation of Article 370. And there is an exclusive prelims practice section for this topic for today, and it will be uploaded in the evening. Please do attend the question session on evening, which will be uploaded by 5 p.m. every day. This news article taken from the New Indian Express will explicitly explains about the poaching event happened for the species rhinoceros, and which led to the decline in number of this rhinoceros population in and around South African region. And this new project aims to curb the poaching event as well as the increase in the population of rhinoceros species through the usage of radioactive isotope injections. And this administering of radioactive isotopes to the horn of rhinoceros species will make it more detectable, traceable, as well as commercially not viable for the poachers to use it for commercial purpose, as well as it makes the rhinoceros horn more poisonous to the poachers who are used to make it for a commercial purpose. With this, we move to the further section of this video and get an overview about the rhinoceros species in common. And there are different kinds of rhinoceros species found across the globe, and the first species we are going to know is the white horned rhinoceros, which is categorized as near threatened in the IUCN Red List, and the individuals of 17,000 population has been found across the globe, and it is considered to be the most populous rhino species in the world. And the second species is the black rhinoceros, which is categorized as critically endangered, and it has been constantly under the conservation progress, and only around 6,000 species of black rhinoceros species found across the globe, and it is still in the recovering in population through various conservation measures. And the third species is the great one-horned rhinoceros or the Indian rhinoceros, which is categorized as vulnerable in the IUCN Red List, and the population of this greater one-horned rhinoceros species has been distributed around India and Nepal region. And this greater one-horned rhinoceros species, which also under the conservation of progress, and with respect to the India has taken active measures to increase the population of this greater one-horned rhinoceros species, and this species will be distributed or found to be common along the foothills of Himalayas, and specifically to the areas of Kaziranga National Park. And with respect to the conservation of this greater one-horned rhinoceros, there is a specific project under Project Rhino, or known as India Rhino Vision, which was implemented in the year of 2020 with the conservation efforts with respect to the greater one-horned species, and it has shown the increase in the population of this greater one-horned rhinoceros. And the fourth species is the Javan rhino, which is categorized as critically endangered in the IUCN Red List because of the very low number of population available. Around only a few dozen of Javan rhinos has been found in the Indonesian parks or Indonesian region, and the final species in the list was the Sumatran rhino, which is also categorized as critically endangered, as it also be in very low number of population. Only around 100 individuals has been found in and around the Indonesian and other Sumatran region, and it is also considered to be the smallest rhino species compared to the other rhino species. And moving to the main topic, which is very relevant to the UPSC preparation as well as the conservation efforts taken with respect to the rhinoceros population, is that the isotope tagging without harming the rhinoceros species. With this isotope tagging, in this isotope tagging, we have to know about what is isotope and what is the mechanism used in this project to conserve the rhinoceros population from poaching. An radioactive isotope is an unstable orphan element which is transmitting or emitting radiation, which emits radiation to make it transform into a more stable form. It is called as radioactive isotope, and this radioactive isotope emits radiation which is easily traceable, and it typically make changes in the substance which it falls upon. And with respect to this isotope tagging, the radioactive isotope has been administered in the horns of the rhinoceros in a very low manner or very low dosage, which makes it more traceable and detectable using radiation control monitors, which is found to be deployed in various areas or various sectors like border areas, ports, as well as airports, etc., for identification of unauthorized radioactive materials. And by administering this radioactive isotopes, which is very unstable in nature, which may also have impact on the health of the rhinoceros species, so that they conduct a specific test called biological dosimetry test, which is also very important with respect to the UPSC preparation. In this biological dosimetry test, they have obtained the culture of the blood from the rhinoceros species, and the researchers examined for any formation of micronuclei in the WBC, that is white blood cell of that blood obtained from the rhinoceros. If there is any formation of micronuclei found in the WBC, it will evidently shows the deformation of the cell or the cell deformation, which will create a adverse impact on the health of the rhino species. But what made this more significant is that the administer of low dosage of this radioactive isotope to the horns of rhinoceros species will not make any harm to the rhinoceros species in the first phase of research. It is evident to be found, and scientists are also making this successful project to be more viable and making it successful in the conservation or protection of other endangered species like elephant as well as pangolins. They are trying to make it accommodative to the elephant and other species like pangolins, etc. And with respect to the challenges and the ethical concern behind this issue is that we can easily have an ethical issue, because it may not create harm to the rhinoceros species, but it can create harm to the other living species around the rhinoceros species on the environment it thrives. And it also be an environmental issue, because if a poacher has deported or poached the rhinoceros horn and tried to commercially use the rhinoceros horn without knowing there is a radioactive element in that material present, it may create an radiation effect, or it may create an health impact on the other human species also. And it needs to be carefully regulated, and public awareness has to be created, and it also needs an international cooperation for the implementation of this conservation effort. With this, we move to the next topic. This news article taken from the New Indian Express will elicit about the Global Plastic Treaty and its recent updates. This treaty was in prominence because of the final rounds of talks has been going on or held in Geneva, with around 175 member countries has been participating in the final rounds of talks. And in this section of video, we are going to know about what is Global Plastic Treaty and the timeline of its evolution, and the challenges associated with it, along with the focus areas of this plastic treaty. What is the Global Plastic Treaty? It is a treaty to eliminate plastic pollution not only from the territorial area but also from the maritime resources also. And this plastic treaty will strive to address plastic pollution from the production stage itself, which produces through polluting gases as well as polluting oil, which brings challenges to the plastic waste disposal as well as the recycling of plastics. And this plastic treaty was made to be the legally binding treaty by the United Nations Environmental Program, which was subsequently mandated by the United Nations Environmental Assembly to end plastic pollution across the full life cycle of plastics. And with respect to the timeline of this plastic treaty talks, which was initiated in the 2022 March by the United Nations Environmental Assembly, which started the treaty, which started the procedure for the establishment of the treaty. And in the and this plastic treaty talks will be held twice in a year, and it in the year of 2022 itself, in the November, the treaty of talks, the series of talks has been initiated under the Intergovernmental Negotiation Committee, and the series of talks was held on Uruguay, Paris, Nairobi, Ottawa, and in the Busan is the previous treaty, previous series of talks where the talks got stalled because of the establishment of CHAR's report, that is the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee has been provided a draft report on the establishment of this plastic waste, global plastic treaty, which led to the final establishment or the final round of talks in the Geneva. What are the major focus areas of this treaty are? It led to the first and foremost focus area was the capsizing of production of plastics from along the globe, that is the production of virgin plastics, as well as it also uncovers the reusable plastics also. And the second focus area was the design and packaging side, or the design or packaging sector, which needs to be promotion of reusable as well as recycling of plastics and safe materials has been inducted to the production of plastics. And the third and foremost area was the waste management, which needs to be taken care of with the improvisation in the collection of plastics from the various sources, as well as the proper recycling of this waste material, that is plastic, into an reusable manner. And the fourth and foremost is the polluters that needs to be accountable or made to be accountable in this focus area, that the production company of plastics, or either directly the product of plastic or the by the means of packaging, needs to be accountable for such regeneration or reusage of plastics as well as proper disposal of plastics. And the fifth is the health and environmental concern, which needs to be more and more concern nowadays, because the establishment or the release of microplastics into the ocean, as well as the toxins released by this plastic waste due to the heat generation in ocean as well as the land area. And the fifth focus area was more important, because it was on this basis there is the inclusion or the social inclusion has to be taken into account, that is equity and justice. That is what they are more rely on this waste resource as their income on their day-to-day activities, or based on this waste generation, so that they are also need to be accounted into this treaty. So these are all the focus areas that the treaty shows concern. And with this, what are all the challenges that the treaty involves is that the diverging countries' position. What is diverging countries' position? That is, we can easily infer from the example that in Rwanda and Peru are two nations which are focused more on the global production cap, that is production of plastic itself needs to be capsized, or it needs to be limited only on the production. But USA and Saudi Arabia, in the contrary, opposes these binding rules that as the USA and the Saudi Arabia are the leading nation which are producing plastic as well as the petrochemical products, they are not in favor of this binding rules. They prefer only the voluntary phase. This poses the major challenge that the diverging countries' position with respect to the production itself a great hurdle to the implementation of this global plastic treaty. And the second challenge was the focus conflict between production as well as the waste management. With this, the Japan has been emphasizing the waste management rules as well as the waste management process as the reusage or recycling of the waste plastics, but the Norway demands only for the cut sizing or the elimination of single use plastics, which also leads to the conflict as well as confusion within this treaty. And the third challenge was the lobbying of industrialists as well as the industrial economy. For this, American Chemistry Council will be a classic example because they promote only chemical recycling instead of plastic waste management, because they criticize, it was being criticized by various other nations as the strategy of greenwashing. We have to focus on this greenwashing because it is a elusive or the what is marketing tactics, deceptive marketing tactics done by various industrialists or the various developed nations, as they label the products or services produced by them as the environmental friendly in a wrong manner, as it is shows only the environmental friendly, like green, like environmentally friendly and eco-friendly products from their side, but the products need not to be in that manner, or the product is not in that manner or not in the guideline as they project. So that is greenwashing. And with respect to this greenwashing, that is a previous question also, we need to focus on that. And this is the industry lobbying challenge that associated with the establishment of this global plastic treaty. And the other challenges are the financial and technical gaps, that is small island nations or small island states, least development countries was lack in the recycling of this infrastructure with respect to the waste management as well as the plastic waste management. So there is a need for the global funding through various financial institutions as well as the technology transfer from the developed nations will need to be done. And the enforcement and compliances issue, the India and Brazil is the classic example, because the territorial area is also vast along with the population density. The monitoring and enforcing of this banning of plastics as well as the management of waste also be a great concern, because the governance and capacity will need to be improved, and it is a tedious process to manage such a task. And with respect to the equity and justice transition will also possess a great challenge, and in this also India and Kenya also be a classic example, as many informal waste workers also reside mainly with the help of this waste generation as well as the plastic waste. So their day-to-day activity depends or rely only on this waste generation. So they also need to be accommodated to be implement a comprehensive waste management plan. So the treaty, this also poses a great challenge to the establishment of this treaty. With this, we move to the next section. This article, taken from The Hindu, will exclusively deals with the India's battery waste management as well as the missing link between producer and the government, that is the intermediary who are lacking, or there needs to be a fair adoption of flooring price that was under the extended producer responsibility. Let's get to know more about in the further section. And what is the need for the battery waste management with respect to India is that after the gradual transition in the Indian population from the fossil fuels, the electric vehicle lithium battery demand has been skyrocketed to nearly 139 gigawatts of power needs to be equipped for the year by the year of 2035. that is from 4 gigawatts in the previous year of 2023. And it also needs to be incorporated, and there needs to be a proper battery waste management plan for achievement of the net zero goal of India in the year of 2070. And with respect to the lithium battery, it alone accounting for around 7 lakhs of the 1.6 million metric tons of e-waste generated, which is provided with the data from the 2022. And what is extended producer responsibility? The extended producer responsibility in the name itself denotes that it is the responsibility of the producer with the product they have produced after the consumption by the consumer, after they consume the product or done away with the product. It is the responsibility of the manufacturer or the importer to deal with the products for its proper disposal, and it also includes the collection of the waste material and recycling, and it also needs to be properly disposed and packaged. And with respect to the battery waste management rules of 2022, there is we need to understand more about this battery waste management rules of 2022. With this, the first is the scope and applicability of this management rules. It is effective from the August 2022, replacing the previous management rules from the 2001. And it is a comprehensive battery waste management rules. It applies to all batteries, all types of batteries, including portable, automotive, industrial, as well as electric vehicle batteries. And it also a comprehensive one with the inclusion of all stakeholders, including the producers as well as the dealers or the intermediaries, who are dealers, consumers, collectors, refurbishers who are reproducing or making the new product with the available done away with the products, and the recyclers also. And it also has the say of or the inclusion of importers in the battery waste management rules of 2022. And what is the extended producer responsibility associated with this battery waste management rules of 2022 is that the producer or the importer who are exclusively responsible for the collection, recycle, and the refurbishment of this waste batteries, which was produced and placed in the product after they are done away by the consumers. And they need to be properly disposed through proper disposal mechanism provided under these rules, and they need not to be done away the products in a dumping in the landfill or in an incineration plant. And with respect to the battery waste management rules of 2022, there is a proper statement with respect to the collection of materials or the collection of product, as well as the material recovery targets needs to be revised and shifted accordingly. And with respect to this, the portable and the electric vehicle batteries, the recovery rate has been shifted from 70% in the year of 2024 to 2025, from 80% in the year of 2025 to 26, and it has also been shifted the target of recovery from 90% in the year of 26 to 27 onwards. And with respect to the automotive and automobiles and industrial batteries, the target has been from 55% in the year of 2024 to 25, and it has been shifted from 60% in the year of 25 to 26. And this target has to be reviewed every 4 years by a committee exclusively formed under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And with respect to this battery waste management rules, there is an provision for the establishment of centralized portal that needs to monitor the extended producer responsibility certificate mechanisms and proper monitoring of the disposal of this battery waste management. And with respect to this centralized portal, the Central Pollution Control Board must establish an online portal exclusively for the registration, filing, reporting, audit and provision of extended producer responsible exchange certificates. And with this, the mechanism was worked on the basis of the recyclers or the refurbishers who are dealt with the battery waste products or done away with the consumer products, that needs to be generate the extended producer responsibility certificates based they are producing this extended producer responsibility certificates based on their weight processed by the recovery percentage by them, and also the producer will buy these certificates from these recyclers or refurbishers for compliance activities like certificates to fulfill their extended producer responsibility obligations under these rules. And with respect to the use of recycled materials, the producer are exclusively responsible for the incorporation of minimum level of recycled content in the new batteries that they are producing. That is, if 5% will be the recycled capacity, that needs to be in the 20% in the year of subsequent years in the EV battery production. And there is a mechanism for environmental compensation that will be working on the principle of polluters pay principle, that is pinning down the accountability on the polluters who are not compliant with these rules, or who are skipping these rules, or they are evading these rules, or to be the principal one who pay the amount for the environmental compensation, which was inducted or to be slapped by the Central Pollution Control Board or State Pollution Control Board. That a producer has unmet the extended producer responsibility target, has to be pay the principal amount for the environmental compensation, as well as the recyclers, refurbishers, collectors for also has to pay some amount for non-compliance with the non-registration false information they provide, or they are failing to oblige certain rules that are provided in this battery waste management rules. And the final stage of this battery waste management rules of 2022 is that the monitoring and institutional framework which associated with the battery waste disposal or the battery waste management is that there is a multi stakeholder committee has to be established by the Central Commission Pollution Control Board or the State Pollution Control Board, which needs to oversee the implementation and periodical revision of this forms, as well as the standards, as well as the targets that needs to be revised in a proper manner. That is the Central Pollution Control Board and the State Pollution Control Board's responsibility to monitor as well as the proper disposal of this battery wastes. And what are the challenges associated with this? We can easily infer from the previous discussion that there are implementation and enforcement gaps, that is lack of infrastructure, poor monitoring capacity, and delayed operationalization because of the various stakeholders involved in this process. And there is a lack of awareness among the stakeholders from the producer till the government itself. There is a lack of awareness with respect to this battery waste management rules and the proper disposal of battery waste, as well as the other waste generated during this process. And the challenges, and also the challenges with the extended producer responsibility mechanism, as this shows the major concern, because there is a lack of, or the fair adoption of floor price needs to be done, or that needs to be revised, will create an inclusive environment for the intermediaries to also thrive on this battery waste recycling, as well as it also pin the burden on small businesses instead of the original producer. And there is a need for recycling ecosystem that needs to be equipped properly and need to be properly channelized. India has recently successfully established the railway connectivity between Barabi region and the Sairang regions of Mizoram, and this region will be found along the borders of Assam and Mizoram. After the establishment of the railway connectivity between both the regions, the Mizoram will be the fourth capital, northeast capital, to receive the railway connectivity project, within its state's capital, and it will also give a stimulus to the regional connectivity program as well as to the Southeast Asians cooperations. With this article, we move to the further section of this article, and in this article, we are going to know about the Act East policy of India and its further developments. And it is in news because Indian Railways has recently commissioned this Barabi Sairang project, which established the capital connectivity between Mizoram's Aizawl capital and the Assam region, which also gives a great stimulus to the India's ambitious policy of Act East policy, and also envisages the rail routes and road links between Southeast Asian nations. And this Barabi Sairang project is a broader accelerated push developed by the Ministry of Railways to connect the northeastern states capital region as well as development or enhancement of infrastructure in that region. And with respect to the India's Act East policy, it is a strategic diplomatic initiative developed by India to strengthen the India's hold in relation with the Southeast Asian nation as well as its broader vision towards the India-Pacific region also. And it was announced in the year of 2014 by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It has been evolved to the Act East policy by before it was known as the Look East policy in the year of which was established in the year of 1991. And this Act East policy aims to promote the cooperation between economic, strategic as well as cultural ties with the Asian countries as well as the Southeast Asian nations. And what are the key focus areas under this Act East policy? Or the first is the economic engagement between the Southeast Asian nations as well as the northeastern states. This economic engagement involves the bilateral and multilateral trade between countries which are associated with Asian countries as well as Japan, South Korea and Australia, which is specifically in the southeastern parts of the India. And it also promotes the investment in infrastructures with association with the Asian banks as well and the Asian development banks, and in the areas of or sectors like energy and digital sectors. And it also give the leverage to the India and ASEAN free trade agreement between India and Asian countries. And the second key focus area was the connectivity, which also involves the infrastructure involvement, and this connectivity makes the infrastructure or logistic movement more possible between various nations, and it also bridges the gap between the logistic movement as well as the trade between both the nations. And in this connectivity projects, the projects like India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral agreement, trilateral highway as well as the Kalandan multimodal projects or the major transit project between Southeast Asian nations. And the India's Act for East policy is further enhancement of this Act East policy, that is it has extended to the engagement with the Russia's Far East regions, as well as it also boosts the trade corridors and the regional integration of both the India and other Southeast Asian nations. And the third major focus area was the security and strategic cooperation area, which aims to strengthen the defense and maritime cooperation between the nations, ties between Asian and Quad partners, and the Quad partners involves USA, Japan, Australia along with the Indian counterpart. And it also has the promotion activity with relevant to the freedom of navigation between their territorial zones in the India Pacific Ocean region as well as the Indo-Pacific region. And it also enhances the comprehensive strategy to devise the counter-terrorism activity, cyber security acts, and as well as the disaster management cooperation between the nations. And the major strategic development and the security cooperation that involves is the countering of China's string of pearl strategy. India has specifically devised a jewel of necklace of jewel strategy, and Southeast nations participation will be the vital key for strategizing or countering the China's string of pearl strategy. And the fourth major focus area was the people to people cooperation or the cultural tie, establishment of cultural ties between them. And the major people to people cooperation as well as the culture ties was based on the establishment of Buddhist tourism circuits as well as the academic exchanges and cultural diplomacy between the nations present in the Southeast Asian nations. And what are all the institution mechanism that was indeed present in this Actist policy of India are the India ASEAN Summit, East Asian Summit. The BIMSTEC will be a vital organization between the area of cooperation between the Southeast cooperation as well as the Mekong Ganga cooperation, the Quad dialogue, and the Indo-Pacific Ocean initiatives. And the challenges associated in this proper formalization of this activist policy or the infrastructure projects delays, that is with relevant to the India Myanmar Thailand trilateral highway. The infrastructure project was established in a very lagged manner, which is hinders the growth of both the nations as well as the supply of logistic between both the nations. And the political instability in Myanmar plays a vital role or plays the hindering role in the connectivity plans between both the nations. And the China's assertive role in the South China Sea and its economic dominance over other nations, as the Southeast Asian nations are also developing nations like India. So the China's assertiveness was very dominant in that region, as well as the limited trade options or the limited trade volume between the Southeast Asian nations and India will also be a challenging factor in this manner. With this, we move to the next topic. The 5th of August 2025 marks the 6th year anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370 from the Indian Constitution. And this Article 370 is very a temporary provision with respect to the special provision accorded to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And this article taken from The Hindu will explain about the present unease situation or the tense situation prevails over the Jammu Kashmir region on the occasion of this 6th year anniversary of abrogation of article. With this article, we are going to know about a quick overview about the history of Jammu and Kashmir and the abrogation of Article 370. We'll get to know more about this in the further section. Let's move to the further section of this video. And with respect to the history of Jammu and Kashmir, the Jammu and Kashmir has been formally accorded to the Indian territory through the instrument of accession signed between Maharaja Hari Singh and the Indian government. And the instrument signed was the instrument of accession. Through this agreement, the ceded portion of Jammu and Kashmir has been formally incorporated into the Indian territory in the year of 1947, and at that time only the defense sector, external affairs as well as the communication will be entirely under the control of the Indian government. Other than that, it will be either given autonomy to the Maharaja Hari Singh. And at that time, the Jammu and Kashmir will be a provincial state and governed by the Maharaja Hari Singh. After the invasion of the Pakistani Pashtun tribes, Maharaja Hari Singh demanded the help of Indian government, and on that demand, India has formally instrumented the instrument of accession into act and made the Jammu and Kashmir into Indian territory. And after the formal incursion of our Indian Constitution, the Article 370 has been incorporated in the year of proposed in the year of 1949, and it has given the special status in the year of 1950, which under which Article 370 the Jammu and Kashmir has been given a great autonomy it can have its own constitution, flag, and control over its internal matters, etc. And what made the abrogation of Article 370 the culmination of various political as well as other events, and the first event that made stimulus to this abrogation was the political instability and urgency during the period of 1950s to 1990s. And we have a series of incidents that war or confrontation situation between India and Pakistan has been happened during this time. That is, we have series of event of confrontations like 1947 war and 1965 war, which is famously known as the Operation Gibraltar, which came into peace after the Tashkent Declaration has been signed between India and Pakistan, and Lal Bahadur Shastri played a vital role in the 1965 war, and the 1971 war, which led to the liberation of Bangladesh, and the 1999, which is the Kargil war or Operation Vijay. And this series of events made the Jammu and Kashmir more vulnerable, and even now the area is of unstable in nature because of the militant activities present at that situation, and which also made the land more susceptible to the president's rule. And the second was the unrest and autonomy demands that led to the other stimuli of the abrogation of Article 370, because there is an militant activities or more in that area, which led to the unrest of the area and made the area more vulnerable to other militant activities as well as the uprising of other militant demands, which demands the greater autonomy as well as the insurgency. And this are all culminated in the event of abrogation of Article 370 in the year of 2019, August 5th. And in this abrogation of Article 370, the special status with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir has been withdrawn or revoked, and the state of Jammu and Kashmir has been bifurcated into union territories of two in nature, that is, one is Jammu and Kashmir of Union Territory and the Ladakh Union Territory. And we also bring the Jammu and Kashmir territory under the president's rule, which also made the triggers the detention and lockdown activities in that area. And what are all the changes that happens after the 2019 abrogation of special status, that is Article 370? The special status of union territory, that it has lost its autonomy, and it has the autonomy of separate constitution, and flag has been also been revoked, and the state has been reorganized into two territories. As we discussed, it has been fragmented into Jammu and Kashmir with the state assembly, but it has been categorized as a union territory, and Ladakh and union territory without the assembly. And the central laws has been extended to the part of Jammu and Kashmir, which made the Indian laws applicable uniformly to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which was previously not under the control of Jammu and Kashmir. And it made a significant made in the Jammu and Kashmir territory, that Article 35A, which is a special provision with related to the state of Jammu and Kashmir previously, has been nullified or being announced void, because it has ended the special right that under Article 35A, non-resident of India has not a say in the purchase or procurement of land from the area of Jammu and Kashmir previously, but it got abrogated or it got nullified in the after this abrogation of Article 370. And another thing associated with the Article 35A is that non-residents of Jammu and Kashmir can also buy property after the nullification of Article 35A, that leads to the ownership rights has been liberalized, and it has also expanded the reservation system to SC/STs, OBCs, women, and other refugees included. That also needs to be incorporated and associated with the land of Jammu and Kashmir. And with the control of central over the Jammu and Kashmir territory, there is the autonomy that earlier experienced by the Jammu Kashmir has been abrogated, and the strict monitoring of Jammu and Kashmir territory will be under the exclusive control of the Home Ministry. So there is more control and more monitoring of this territory, and also raises the political and the security fallout, which led to the frequent detention, blackout issues, and the military presence was more on that territory after the abrogation of Article 370 from the Jammu and Kashmir, because of the uprising movement will be more after the abrogation of 370. What are all the current challenges that the state of Jammu and Kashmir, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir presently faces, or the demand for statehood, which was demanded in more in numbers, because it also has the hope of restoration of their hope statehood in the monsoon session by the former leader of the Jammu and Kashmir territory, and it also has the political protest, as earlier it has experienced the political state, but it got exclusively under the control of central government now. So it will lead to the protest of people and other political parties earlier experiencing the political power, led to the political protest in that state, and it also led to the security surveillance more in that area, because of the event that can stimulate the people's mindset to make them more violent, and uprising of many militants in that area. And what made the current challenge more impact is that there is a deficit of democracy in that area since 2014, as only a local body election has been conducted in that area since 2014, and no assembly election has been conducted, and the area has been frequently under the control of president rule, so that it leads to the democratic deficit, as well as the people in that area has been alienated. They have the sense of being alienated, or they feel that the betrayal of identity has been done by this abrogation of Article 370. With this, we move to the next section. And hope you guys like the video, and please share your positive comments in the comment section given below, and share the video to your friends for more such content. And please stay in touch with us by subscribing to our Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Have a good day.